Paleontology bingo. Let's just get straight to it.
Top 10 Weirdest Dinosaurs.
10 weirdest dinosaurs you won't believe existed, with the classic Trend Max intro sequence, as you can see over here.
Many people consider the dinosaurs as an essential part of their childhoods. We admired them on TV and used to play with them. But many times we don't realize how weird and strange these creatures can be.
Not the Centrosaurus from Tarbosaurus, the mightiest ever. They literally destroyed the poor dude's crest and the poor dude's dignity too.
Get comfortable and enjoy this curious ride. Number 10. Yutyrannus.
This is a dinosaur with actual fluff. This is a feathered dinosaur, as you can see. Fairly underrated because, you know, you never see Yutyrannus being mentioned.
This dinosaur could be easily confused with giant bird species since it has the biggest feathers ever found in one of these creatures.
Biggest feathers, okay. Were Yutyrannus even... Alright, so let's see. I think they meant Yutyrannus was the biggest predator to have ever been found with feathers, but not the biggest feathers. That's just a misunderstanding.
The giant dinosaur lived in the Cretaceous period about 125 million years ago. It was found in Liaoning, China. It measured about 29.5 feet in length and 18 feet tall.
Okay, so the whole type and oldest known specimen has an estimated length of 29.5 feet, which is correct, but what is this 98 feet tall thing? What is going on? Not to mention 18 feet tall is already ridiculous. I think he meant 9... No, not 9. 8 feet tall, sorry. Without the 1.
Carrying a weight of 3 tons.
There is an estimate that says Yutyrannus possibly was 2.5 tons in mass. So, but 3 tons is a little bit far-fetched, you think?
Approximately. Because of its feathered aspect, many people could think that it eats seeds like regular chickens, but this is way far from the truth. The Yutyrannus was a carnivore and belonged to the theropod Tyrannosauroidea superfamily, which makes this one of the weirdest, feathered, and biggest tyrannosauroids that ever existed. Nowadays, a pillow filled with the Yutyrannus feathers would be a great success.
At the cost of hunting Yutyrannus to extinction eventually, because Yutyrannus feathers would definitely be valued a lot. And what do poachers do to get value? Is hunt creatures that have those values. Have those valued have those valued body parts.
Number 9. Centrosaurus.
Of course, and then Centrosaurus. Let me just... So, this is... As you can see here, this is called Centrosaurus. The guy is missing the O in between the A and S, as you can see. Just can't really expect much, but this disappointed me once again.
This one would be a Yutyrannus neighbor because it was found in the Shandong province in China.
Problem is, they both lived in completely different time periods, so no chance that they would have been neighbors at one point.
It lived in the last part to the Cretaceous period, approximately 7 million years ago.
The text says 70 million years ago, and yet you said 7 million years ago, and both are incorrect. As you can see, Centrosaurus lived in the Campanian, which means that 70 million years ago is already incorrect, so the fact that you said 7 million years ago just makes it just absolutely stupid. If it lived 7 million years ago, it would have encountered... It would have probably been eaten by Megalodon.
It measured about 29.5 feet in length and 9.8 feet tall, being totally straight, and weighed about 4 tons.
4 tons is really pushing it, don't you think? At most, it probably would have had a mass of around 3 tons, but that's pretty much it.
Being a great herbivore. What at first sight could be called a regular and normal dinosaur ends up being the contrary. because it has a big and long crest that extends all over its head.
From what it looks like, the model Tarbosaurus the mightiest ever used is also classified as outdated. So I guess this is fine. This can be considered outdated, using an outdated model.
This part of its body
Still, look at how they massacred my boy.
it was always pointing the front and made sounds because it was directly connected to the nasal bones. So when the wind crossed this part, it created a really strong resonance box, almost as if it had a little alarm hanging in its head. Weird and bizarre. Number 8. Sauropelta.
By the way, the music is not present in whatever introductions, not introductions. The segments of the video after the introduction to Sauropelta and whatever and all that. So basically it just makes the video much more empty than it should be.
When it comes to weird and herbivore dinosaurs, this comes hand to hand with the Centrosaurus.
Centrosaurus. As if Centrosaurus pronunciation and misspelling could not get any worse than this. It somehow got worse. For whatever reason, I have no idea, and I don't like it.
The Sauropelta is one of the most well-known Nodosaurus around the world.
One of the most well-known nodosaurs. Not Nodosaurus. Nodosaurid, okay. Nodosaurid is fine.
Being its armor composed by different bones its main feature. This meant it had a considerable quantity of bones that served as a protector shield. Inside this armor, it had a long row of spines sticking out in both sides, which had a size relative to the composition of the Sauropelta's body. It's common to see these prongs on their shoulders and in its tail, although these ones were little. This weird and powerful herbivore species reached approximately 17.2 feet in length and almost 6.5 feet tall with a weight of 6.7 tons.
More like 1.5. 6.5 is just incredibly cuckoo dumb. Very, very stupid.
If having a natural shield around your body seems to be the best thing in life, carrying all that weight could cause you a terrible back pain, don't you think?
But the Sauropelta could live just fine because of its anatomy being able to handle such things. Such heavy back.
Number 7. Incisivosaurus. As its name indicates, this species is characterized by having the biggest incisor teeth than the other dinosaurs.
I would word it like this. It had the longest incisors out of any dinosaur. So yeah, there we go.
It lived at the beginning of the Cretaceous period, approximately 128 million years ago.
Not very far off. It lived around 126 to 124 million years ago.
And same as the Yutyrannus, it was found in the province of Liaoning in China. It measured 3.2 feet in length and 0.39 inches long.
0.39 inches long! Oh my god. What is this? Okay. Are you saying that it's 1 centimeter 1 centimeter long when you're using 0.39 inches for... Oh my goodness, what is this? I'm super confused. I have no idea.
So it was a small dinosaur of about 66.1 pounds.
66.1 pounds, it's kind of pushing it. At most, it probably had a mass of around 10 pounds.
And its head measured 4 inches in length. According to the fossils, this was an herbivore species. These predominant teeth on its mandibula were used to tear the different kinds of leaves from the forest. It was common to see this species with a lot of feathers on its body, but as a secondary effect, they weren't able to fly. A really peculiar dinosaur with a bird aspect.
I'm still giving credit where credit's due. This video at least has this video at least just gets straight to the point, unlike a bunch of other paleontology videos like Right Side, for example.
Number 6. Masiakasaurus.
Now, finally, we get to a bunch of fact yapping once again.
The Masiakasaurus measured 6.5 feet in length and 19.6 feet tall.
19.6 feet tall. Am I even surprised at this absolute monstrosity of an estimate at this point?
And weighed 98 pounds.
Wikipedia says 44 pounds, but I'm willing to bet this could have had a mass of 98 pounds. Possibly. I don't know what estimate is that though.
This reptile with weird teeth lived in the Cretaceous about 70 million years ago. Now, we're sure that if nature doesn't give you velocity to run, it will give you a good trap in your mandibula. Be careful. Number 5. Nomingia. These nice but weird dinosaurs belong to the Oviparaptorosaurus infraorder.
It's called Oviraptorosauria, not Oviraptorosaurus. Okay.
Because it looks a lot like birds. But we don't only refer to their abundant feathers that you can easily appreciate, but its bone structure, which is composed by 5 different vertebrae ubicated in its tail.
Judging by its skeleton, your statement is not correct, unfortunately.
The same ones that form the famous pidgestool that the birds have nowadays on their skeleton. This pidgestool is an important point of support and connection to the feathers used to fly ubicated on the tail. Even though it has this singular characteristic, the Nomingia wasn't able to fly.
How do you expect this to fly? It's not even equipped to fly like... Okay. Goodness gracious.
This weird dinosaur measured 5.5 feet in length and almost 3.2 feet tall, with a weight of 132.2 pounds.
This, on the other hand, is really just a little bit ridiculous, but the length and height is actually reasonable this time, so I'll give it that.
This species lived in the Cretaceous period, approximately 70 million years ago. If you thought this looked like a big peacock, believe us when we say, we too. They're extremely similar.
Are they? Because I don't think they look similar. At least to me. Like, they don't look very similar.
Number 4. Therizinosaurus. This giant herbivore came from the Gobi Desert and has, as a main characteristic, some powerful and enormous claws.
Also, the guy used Yutyrannus from Planet Dinosaur instead of a Therizinosaurus,
which were really visible in their front legs and measured about 31.4 inches in length. That's why the Therizinosaurus has the prize for the longest and weirdest claws ever. Just to give you an idea, these claws had the shape of a scythe and were almost the same size as a tennis net. Incredibly scary.
By the tone of this video is definitely made for kids, as well as the content. As you can see.
Although you shouldn't fear, because these powerful knives were only used for self-defense against big predators, and also to get to the highest branches in the trees looking for food.
Although they might have used their claws to slap some fools, some people say that their claws, being straight and all, not really straight, the way the claws are built, just doesn't make them suitable for fighting that much.
Because these claws were huge, it meant that their arms were big enough to hold them, measuring about 8.2 feet in length. It also had a length of 32.8 feet long and 19.6 feet tall. They only ate herbs.
Keep in mind, herbivores also eat meat to supplement their dietary needs. This horse over here eating a baby chicken.
This species weighed 4.5 tons. The Therizinosaurus also lived at the end of the Cretaceous period about 70 million years ago. Shaking hands with them isn't a good idea. Number 3. Pegomastax. This little but weird dinosaur was found in Africa.
More specifically in South Africa in the Transkei district of Cape Province.
It's part of the Heterodontosauridae and lived at the beginning of the Jurassic era, approximately 200 million years ago.
First off, Jurassic is a period. Second, the Cinemurian. It lived in the Cinemurian. And Cinemurian spanned 199.5 to 192.9 million years ago. It more specifically lived in the mid-Silurian, so estimates of around 196 to 195 million years ago instead of 200 million years ago, like you said.
What really caught our attention are the hundreds of feathers all over its body that were used the same way a hedgehog uses its spines, shooting them every time the Pegomastax was in danger. It was able to extend its body pretending to be bigger, and also hurting its enemies when they wanted to hunt it. Its little 2.7-inch head had a curved beak which was able to cut any kind of herb. The Pegomastax measured 23.6 inches long and 7 inches tall.
Okay, another more reasonable estimate, as you can see. Not bad, actually.
And weighed 13.2 pounds over its agile legs. Little but powerful. Number 2. Gigantoraptor. And in the second place we find this weird and really intimidating dinosaur. The Gigantoraptor was the biggest oviraptoid theropod.
Hate to break it to you, but the Gigantoraptor is just an oviraptorosaur. It belongs to the family Cyanathidae.
Because it measured about 26.2 feet in length and 23 feet tall.
This is the holotype, and 23 feet tall is really pushing it. 26.5 feet tall is also a little bit, over, I guess. Probably outdated, maybe. Although, theoretically speaking, 26.2 feet is still possible.
Being so big of a dinosaur, it doesn't surprise us that it weighed 1.4 tons.
Which is based on an outdated estimate in 2007. It more likely reached 2 metric tons in body mass, and some people even claim that it reached 5 tons.
It lived at the end of the Cretaceous era, about 80 million years ago.
First off, Cretaceous is a period, not an era. Second, the Gigantoraptor lived 90 million years ago instead of 80 million years ago. And third, 80 million years ago is not the end of the Cretaceous. 70 million years ago is more reasonable. But the end of the Cretaceous is around 66 million years ago.
The discovery of this huge and weird dinosaur was in 2005 in Mongolia. At first sight, it was easy to mistake it with a bird from these days because it had a big beak, a long neck, and little rests of feathers in its body.
Does this Gigantoraptor, shown over here, look like a bird to you? Does it? Comment down below.
When it comes to their alimentation, they were herbivorous, like the Incisivosaurus. Thanks to its size and majestic back legs, it's known as a really agile dinosaur, adding up the fact that it had claws with the shape of a couple of knives. You don't want to be stepped on by nothing in the world. It's not a joke.
Now, I think we're 9 out of 10 right now, so the last one is number 1. I don't know what it will be, but I don't feel like it's going to be a great option.
Number 1. Archaeoceratops.
I'd call it Archaeoceratops, but whatever, Archaeoceratops is also okay.
The first place is occupied by the Archaeoceratops, a dinosaur that belongs to one of the many ceratopsian species located in Asia, specifically in Gansu, China.
It's called Gansu, not Gansu. Guys, just try and pronounce stuff the way native people like Qatar and Kiribati instead of Qatar and Kiribati.
It lived at the beginning of the Cretaceous, about 140 million years ago.
Now it lived around 125 million years ago instead of 140.
This particular species name means face with old horns. To this moment, different types of Archaeoceratops have been found, the Oshime and the Yutyrannus.
Guys, it's pronounced Oshimai and Yutyrannus. Okay, I have limited knowledge towards Mandarin, but I can confidently say I know more Mandarin than this guy.
According to the experts, the Archaeoceratops was a biped creature when it came to moving around. But it's believed that, with the time and necessity to eat leaves from the ground, it ended up taking a quadruped posture. Its principal food supply were the plants and herbs from a savage forest. The structure of its skull was bigger than its body in comparison to other little dinosaurs. It's estimated that it measured 3.2 feet in length approximately. At first sight, it seems to be a perfect mixture of a tyrannosaur and the head of a triceratops.
Dude, this absolutely insane and crazy statement, comparison and whatever. Oh my god, what is this? I just can't even comprehend. Okay, nothing much to say.
Extremely weird. If you like this top, give it a like, subscribe to our channel activating the notification bell, and share it with all of your friends who are lovers of weird stuff and dinosaurs. See you in the next adventure of TrendMax.
This is the end of the video, as you can see. Although there are a bunch of ridiculous statements, everything else is not terrible per se. Here is the result of this paleontology bingo. Honestly, much less than I expected. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy. I'll see you on the next one.